My final guest this evening is, and I've said this before, quite simply the cleverest man I've ever met, Mr. Stephen Fry. Isn't that nice? That's sort of a poetry theme.
Thank you, boys.
Stephen, take the load off, as they say. So, Stephen, I apologise if the whole cleverness thing seems tired or to have run its course, but let's face facts, you are smarter than just about anyone else in this room.
Oh, I really can't believe that's true at all. There's smart and smart, isn't there? I mean, in the end, wisdom is more important than anything else, isn't it? I don't think I'm very wise. I think I'm very
You
foolish.
don't think you've learned, you don't think you've acquired wisdom with your period on this planet?
Well, I mean, not as much as I should necessarily, no.
Really? In which way do you feel you've let yourself down, or indeed let us down, Stephen?
Well, you commented early on my adipose deposit, and that is a disgrace. I'm a fatty, and my weight goes up and down. I smoke, I drink too much coffee.
But Stephen,
that's not smart, is it?
Stephen, that's the joy of life.
Yeah.
Where would we be without the pleasure of a simple donut, or a fag, or a little shot of caffeine? Eh?
Right.
We'd be no better than goats in the field, monkeys in the trees, fish in the pond, flies on the eye of an Aussie in the outback.
No, you're just beginning to babble, I'm afraid.
Yes.
but I know, you're right. I mean, it plants me. Every day I wake up, I don't quite know what I think about anything, but I do agree with you. Sometimes I get extremely cross at the idea I'm not allowed to be fat and I'm not allowed to smoke or drink coffee.
But you see, we prevent ourselves from doing these things. We feel we are bullied by a nanny state, by a society which thinks it knows best for us, but really wants to keep us where it can keep us. And you can have that quote.
You are a loss to parliamentary debate, I must say.
Hey, let me ask you something. A couple of weeks ago, we had the lovely, the charming, the talented Emma Thompson on the show.
Oh, yeah.
She has a new film about Nanny McPhee, which I thought was just tremendous. I asked her about you. I asked her after the show. I said, you knew Stephen way back when. Look at you there, just a whippersnapper with a pipe. Okay?
Christ.
And I said, what can you tell me about Stephen? What are his strengths? What are his weaknesses? Okay? What does he like? What does he like? She said, he's useless around the naked female body.
Well,
he goes to pieces. Said he gets flustered and flounders.
She will push out her breasts at me when I'm least expecting it. It's a kind of thing she does, you know. She'll sort of ring on the doorbell and I expect it's the postman. And she'll go, whoa, like this. And
most people would love that.
Well, as you know, I'm sort of genetically ordered in a different way anyway.
It's not just that, is
it?
No,
it's terra incognita to me. It is uncharted. I don't understand how it works, where all the bits go, and whether it's in the right order. I mean, it's utterly charming, but it just... I don't know where to look. I don't know what... I don't know. It's lovely. I mean, don't get me wrong, but it moves and it's...
honk, honk. That's all you got to do. That's what a lady wants you to do. If you say, just go, honk, honk. That's the accepted greeting. Honk.
I'll try it next time and see what
Are there other things you don't like, though? Other things... I can't imagine you being particularly handy around the house. Perhaps I'm wrong.
Well, you're quite
but
right.
we certainly know that in the realm of the mind, the intellect, you are, you know, someone who is very comfortable, very at ease. But have you ever, for example, assembled a flat pack from IKEA?
God knows I've tried. I mean, I ordered a thing. I don't know what it actually was. It was from a shop in Norwich, and it was... They had it erected in the shop, and I assumed they would deliver it. I said, I'll take one of those. It had things that went up and down, and I mean, it's something to do with skiing or something.
It's probably a Nordic cross-trainer or
probably
something. It's one of those sort of things, yeah.
And it arrived in a flat pack, and I opened it, and that, I mean, the opening of things. I mean,
just the opening of the pack.
Yeah, I mean, it almost made me want to go into business so I could be the head of a company, a CEO, as I believe they're called. I would be the head of the company, and I would pretend to be a customer, and I would order everything that company made, and then I would go to the people in charge and go, look! Look at this! I can't open it! It's simply insane that anyone will produce... And the flat packs, things come, they come... There's a thing called an Allen key.
Oh, yes.
Whatever that... Who Allen was and why, I don't know. But anyway, it's called an Allen key. And there are washer things that are in sachets. And they're the wrong number. And there's nothing...
Well, no, you see, they're not the wrong number. What you're doing is you're putting together incorrectly.
Well, then, I don't see...
You need to get a man in.
Well, I think you certainly need to get a squadron in. I mean, it's...
OK, now let's talk about work. Well, you've always got exciting projects. You're, you know, a hard-working person, it strikes me. You're someone who doesn't waste his time or fritter away his talents. You've directed movies, you've written TV shows. You've written one, the new Doctor Who, for heaven's sake, which I'm very excited about. And you've written several books. Not just novels, but also this new book, which is a kind of a, or what is it? It's a beginner's guide to writing poetry, is that right?
That's right, yes. I mean, it always struck me, I'm not musical, but I love words. And it has always struck me as a great shame that poetry, for some reason, causes such embarrassment to rise in the average British breast. We find it, you know, something that adolescent girls are allowed to do. But poetry generally causes people either to feel they're going to be embarrassed by an overflow of emotion, or that it's going to be something very academic and very dry. And poetry, it comes from the Greek, poein, it just means to make. It's a made thing, and for those of us who can't make tables, and who are not interested in snowboarding or sailing or running up mountains or falling down mountains or kicking balls around or anything like that, those of us who can't sing or dance, we all have, every single person who's listening to me has language, the thing that's penetrating your ear now. And not only that, we have the English language. Which is the most extraordinary language.
It's the best language in the world. Everyone agrees that.
It certainly has the greatest...
Everyone agrees that.
I'm not sure everyone agrees.
True. I have asked people, quite forcefully and loudly, when I've travelled abroad, and they always agree with me.
It certainly has the largest vocabulary. That is just simply...
Is that the truth?
Fact, yes, yes, by a long, 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 long way. Rather as China is to the rest of the world in population, English is in the population of its words. But like music, you know, there are things you need to know.
The basic rules, almost like the grammar of a sentence.
I wouldn't say rules. I don't know rules to playing a guitar, but everybody's pretty up for being shown a chord.
Yes.
You don't have to play that chord. You don't have to know that it's called a D7th. You don't have to know what a relative minor is, or that there are 12 bars, whatever a bar might be. But most people with music, for some reason, are not embarrassed, or they don't feel that they're being lectured. If
most of us will give it a go.
Yeah, give it a go. Now, you wouldn't say to a child, there's a piano, express yourself. If you did, you would take a very sharp pencil and a hammer and you'd hammer them through the throat until they were dead, because we've all heard
we should point out we don't endorse that kind of reaction, but it's understandable.
But nor do we endorse children making messes on pianos.
No, it's a horrible racket.
Yeah, it's just horrible. You just show someone a chord and then another one and say fiddle around with those chords and you can make a pleasant sound. Poetry's the same. There are ways of organising the thoughts. It's not any more an outpouring of emotion, poetry, than music is. It may evoke emotion. We all agree that music evokes in the listener extraordinary emotion, rage, and love, and passion, and joy, all the range of emotions. But it isn't produced simply by pouring those emotions out.
No,
you can't go to a guitar and just be emotional.
No.
You frame it in a chord structure, in a middle eight, in whatever it is you want to do. And my suggestion is that a lot of poetry is best done that way too.
But I get the feeling that you yourself not only enjoy reading it, but you enjoy the experience of writing it. And that's kind of what this is about. It's not about how to read a poem or how to understand
it. No, not at all. I'm not being a schoolmaster.
It's about saying, and presumably it's just the simple joy of laying down your thoughts in that way. Not with the dream of being published or being applauded for this, just the simple act of creation, is that right?
Yeah, it's ultimately very simple. And the problem with poetry is the moment you mention it, people think it's somehow intellectual.
Yeah,
and it isn't.
It seems like it's the domain of the smart person.
Yes, or they think poems are crossword puzzles that have to be solved.
Yeah.
And they're not.
Well, some of them kind of are, though, aren't they?
No, no. I mean, the point is